All right, Jim is in the building. Padres fall. Blake Snell struggles. People are putting their grades in, letter grades for Blake Snell in his 2022 debut. We are here. We apologize for being late. You know, Jim, Warriors. Who knows? Ordering food.
You want to know why I was like a little late? I apologize.
I'm curious. I'm curious. Not very late. Only about 5 minutes, but I'm curious.
So I was watching the Warriors game, and it pushed back me cooking dinner tonight.
Okay.
And so by the time I finished dinner, it was like 8:50, and I was like, I need to have at least a little time here.
Okay, so Jim took some me time.
I took some me time. I had a little bit of me time, and
that's reasonable.
I had to make sure, I took my time with dinner.
Sure, don't worry about the viewers. Don't worry.
No,
about
it's fine.
me.
I cooked a great dinner tonight, by the way. I'm sure everyone's excited about that.
Tease that. It's called a video tease. Let us know later what you ate. What'd you cook?
What did I cook for dinner tonight? Put in the chat. Wrong answers only.
Wrong answers only? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're just getting into the chat live or on replay, please subscribe. We've had tons of subscribers over the last handful of days. Please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Hit the notification bell. Smash the like button. That helps us. Please follow us on social media. At John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. Shameless plug. We're somehow on TikTok now. I should put the link somewhere. I don't even know what it is. At John and Jim on TikTok.
Just follow Twitter or whatever. I don't know.
First cough, drink. So there's a lot to get to. If you're here live, as always, we appreciate the super chats. We'll make sure to get to all of the super chats. Great way to support this channel. If you're here on replay, you can hit that thanks button. We always appreciate it. We'll tell you about our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz, coming up in a moment. A lot of people chiming in here. I mean, the letter grades, are basically C's and D's for Blake Snell. You can let us know where you're watching from tonight as well. We have to start, obviously, with Blake Snell, and it was, it was not a thing of beauty. He goes 3 2/3 innings. He throws 84 pitches. He nibbled all night long. He didn't have good command. He didn't have good mound presence, in my opinion, with the way he was looking in towards the plate when he wasn't getting calls. Is it the worst outing in baseball history? Probably not. But 3 2/3 innings, 3 runs, 84 pitches, 34 pitches, Jim, in the first inning, and more of the Blake Snell we saw maybe for the first 4 months of the season here tonight in his debut.
Yeah, it was this pretty much what we saw last year. Nibbling, strike zone command, not good. A lot of pitches, very slow. Not giving up a lot of runs, but at the same time, when you have that many pitches, 1 run, I get it, but it's more than just a run. Now you have to worry about your bullpen earlier in games. Nick Martinez, we'll talk about him in a bit here, was amazing tonight. 3/4 of the piggybacks the last 2 games have been amazing. Blake Snell, average at best, you could say. I just don't like him. And I see in the chat from Ben here, like, the thing that upsets me, and I'm sure upsets and frustrates a lot of Padres fans the most, is his consistent nibbling with the zone. His stuff is so good. Just attack hitters. Why are you nibbling all the time? And ironically, it's the first pitch of the game. And I'm not saying this is was a precursor to his outing, but remember the first pitch of the game was a high 97-mile-an-hour fastball. I looked at you and go, here we go. Here
you did say that. You did say that.
I'm like, here we go. And and to his credit, he didn't have a complete blow up. But still, when you have 80, how many pitches do you have? 87, 84?
84 in 3 2/3.
84 and 3 2/3. That is
way too many.
Way too many pitches.
Way too many. Let me pull up what he said tonight. I'll pull this up from the UT, Kevin Acey's article, our Padres Insider on Extra. Here's a quote in his article tonight. And this is so Snell. I mean, this is everything I heard last year in the first half of the season. He says, overall,
don't tell me. I haven't read this yet. I'm not going to look.
Okay.
So I heard you say overall happy.
Yep.
Needs to attack the zone more. He probably mentioned something like it was his first outing of the year, so his adrenaline was up. Probably said something along the lines of just need to throw more strikes. But overall, my stuff felt good, right?
He basically did say that tonight. This is part of that. He said more than this, but he said got the first one out of the way. Really excited, really amped up before the start. It feels good to be back with the boys. I've been watching for a month and a half now. You want to be a part of it, especially with how special this team is. So that felt good. Stuff-wise was really good. Happy with that. Just the walks killed me.
Mhm.
Outside of that, just get ahead and then my stuff will play.
The
But
walks
we've
killed
heard
me.
that quote for the better part of 2 years, and other than August.
Mhm.
He said that time and time again. It sounds like a broken record at times.
Well, there's no more excuses anymore. Like last year, his excuse was new team, new environment, has to get comfortable with everything. He's very his routine was definitely out of whack because he got traded. That was his excuse last year, and his changeup wasn't good, and he had to put it in timeout. That was his excuse. Can't pull that anymore. You can't. You just can't do it.
I agree with you. Let's get to the first super chat of the night. Our buddy Jake, and I did see his Twitter rant. I think is it on the John and Jim page? Jake, I
Think
saw
so.
it
Yeah.
earlier.
Mhm.
You guys see my Twitter rant? I tagged you in about Snellzilla's F minus performance. I graded it more like I think I said C minus D plus on the radio when he left. It was not good. I don't think it's an F minus performance. He could have been chasing the first inning. That would have been an F minus. Nabil Krismat was up in the first inning. A run was in. He had thrown 34 pitches. That would have been awful. This is a little bit like what I expected. I said 4 innings, 2 runs, and he was an out away from getting through 4 innings and 2 runs, and he allowed a double down the right field line. So it is frustrating. I'm with you, Jake. The rest of the starting rotation all year long, by and large, has been really good. And Blake Snell, again, what are really the expectations? He hadn't thrown since August, so I didn't think he was going to be perfect here tonight. But I just hope this improves sooner than it did last year, Jim, where it took until August.
Mm-hmm. What? Right. It can't take that long anymore. I can understand maybe a couple starts, not ideal. I don't like it at all, especially with how the season started for him, saying that he wasn't ready to go, essentially. I don't know if he's like walking that back or anything, but that's what he said. He said he wasn't ready to go. So a couple starts, okay, but you come out and talk a big game, you say you're going to be dominant, your stuff is nasty. You better go out there and perform, and maybe this is just a one-off. Maybe this is just as far as like the start of his season goes. Maybe it's just like, first start, got to just get it out of the way. He'll be much better next start. He'll pitch in the 5th inning. His command will be better. No walks. But it's hard to say that about Blake Snell because he hasn't shown that consistently with this team at all. And to be honest with you, I didn't watch. I've never, when he was with Tampa. To be honest, I didn't watch much Blake Snell. Just heard about him, saw him on SportsCenter, saw his stats. He's in Tampa. Why would I care about Blake Snell? But if you take away his Cy Young year, it kind of feels like his career is a lot of this, right? A lot of pitches, 4 innings, walks, strikeouts, not giving up a lot of runs, but
yes, but his walks are way up in a Padres uniform, even other than the Cy Young year.
Yeah.
His walks are up last year over his 2019 and 2020. His walks, today weren't good. 2 of the first 3 batters he walked. There's a lot of sentiment in here, Jim, that says like, it's his first start.
right.
Saying let's give him 3 starts to settle in.
Yeah.
Christian saying he just got back from injury. Jim turned so fast.
I know. I'm not.
This if it's 6 runs, I can understand, but the slander at 3, is dramatic.
I'll say this about why I feel like why I'm so critical of Snell. It's because hearing him talk about his start of the year and saying he's not ready to pitch and saying he's going to go out and dominate, saying that his stuff is nasty, and then this is your first start. Like if he didn't say any of this stuff, like I would be like, okay, coming off an injury, he's working. I would still be worried. But the thing that just irked me the most is him coming into camp and just flat out saying he was not ready. Like I don't get that.
Yeah, again, there was some elbow scare. I don't know the extent of it. I haven't talked personally with Blake Snell. I know Kevin Acee wrote about it.
I heard AC today with Darren, and Darren asked him about the elbow thing, and it kind of seemed like there's no issue there at all. Like it was like an interesting thing,
Yep.
but it's nothing to be like super worried about, which is good. And also too with Blake Snell, you have so many good pitchers on this team. The one thing that is good for Blake Snell is that there's really not a lot of pressure on him to perform like a true ace of the staff right now, because you got Musgrove, you got Mania, you got Darvish, you got Gore, you got Clevenger, you got Martinez leading the way. Yes, it'd be great to have Blake Snell, join the party. And I know it's one start, but get with those guys and pitch as well as those guys have, especially with the innings they've all pitched. But it's not like if Snell doesn't perform, the team's not going to win baseball games.
The thing with Snell is you gave up your top pitching prospect in the organization at the time, arguably, maybe not now that we've seen Mackenzie Gore, in Luis Patino. It's a significant give up. You thought you acquired a Cy Young Award winner and the guy that was pitching in the World Series in 2020 against the Dodgers and pitching effectively. And that was like the story of the World Series, that Kevin Cash took him out. He has not looked like the same pitcher as the pitcher that pitched for the Rays in 2018, 19, or 20. Now, I'm willing to give him a pass for tonight because he hasn't pitched on a big league mound since last August. Understandable. With all that being said, how long are we going to give him a pass? We're in the teeth of the season. We're at the quarter point after the San Francisco series.
Yeah.
If it takes a start or two or three, I understand it. But we need to see more than the 5-start stretch he had in August of last year this year. I need to see an 80-game stretch where he makes 15 starts and he's among the better pitchers in the National League. Yep. That's what they traded for. If that's not the pitcher they have, then I don't know what role he really has for this team even in 2023 when you think about some of these outstanding players like a Joe Musgrove who has to be re-signed, a Sean Manaea will seal bat, Mike Clevenger, who I thought threw really well his last time on the mound. That's all I would say. I mean, I think they thought they got a pitcher that was going to help them win postseason games or get them to the postseason. So I want to see that pitcher for an extended period of time.
I do too. And Blake Snell even said it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to start good in order to finish good as well. And I'm talking about the team, maybe more the team than him. Because he honestly, he could have a horrible year. And I still think this team has a shot with what they have to win 90 plus games now. Right? Do you think that?
You think he could have a horrible year and the team would win 90 games?
I'll take that back. I think he could have a pretty similar year to he had last year.
Yeah, I agree with that. 4.2 ERA, 500 record.
Yeah, nothing special, average, has great moments, but he'll have moments that want to they'll make you want to rip your hair out.
Yeah.
Like he could have the same year as he had last year, and this team can still win 90 plus games.
Yes, I do agree with that. I do agree. It's different. They have more starting pitching. They have Bob Melvin.
And you couldn't say that last year. If you said like last year with Snell's year, it was the complete opposite. You'd have to say Snell needs to have a year like he needs to have a year like he had his month in August for the entire year for that team to potentially make the postseason last year.
It's funny you say that though, because he struggled the first half of the year and they were 35-19. And that happened. He was in that rotation. They were 35-19.
But imagine how much better they would have been if Snell was like his August self for the most of the season.
You're right. Okay, again, as a reminder, if you're just getting into the channel here tonight, subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Just hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Hit the like button as well. You can follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD, at John and Jim for our radio show. Do want to tell you about our title sponsor here, Mark Nimitz and Farmers Insurance. If you have auto, home, renters, or life insurance needs, earthquake insurance. Mark's helping me out right now with a claim in my kitchen, with my flooring, with everything in my kitchen, everything in my entire life. He can save you money. Simple as that. He can save you $60, $70, $80 a month, $750 a year. If you switch your insurance over to Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, San Diego, we always tell you that. Lifelong Padres fan, just call him. Get to his website down below. He'll talk to you about the Padres as much as he will about your insurance needs. We'll save you money. But if you need anything, if you're in San Diego, if you support this channel, please consider Mark.
Yeah, all his information is above my head. mnimitz at farmersagent.com. That's mnimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you. He'll help you out with everything in your life.
Again, if you want to make sure we get your comment here tonight, you can use that super chat function. There's a lot to get to. There's Blake Snell. There's Nick Martinez. There's this offense. There's the trade hypotheticals I see people commenting already about that we talked about today on the radio. Buster Olney threw out there that the Nats could be motivated or compelled to move Juan Soto this year, even though he's got 2 years on his deal after this year. He threw out the Padres as one of two potential suitors, along with the Blue Jays. And he even mentioned specific players like Mackenzie Gore and CJ Abrams. So we can get into that. I don't know if we need to get into that right this second as we break down this game, but This is about more than Blake Snell tonight, by the way, because they didn't score. And I thought the rest of the pitching staff was really good, obviously, beginning with Nick Martinez. So the piggybacking thing has really worked out well, other than Snell here tonight. But when you don't score, you're not going to win. So I don't care if Blake Snell goes 4 or 5 innings here today, allows just 1 run. They didn't do anything against Zach Wheeler, the ace of the Phillies.
No, and they came in tonight's game, best offense in baseball on the road. It's going to happen. And I will say this, because of who they faced tonight, I am not like overly concerned or upset about it. Zach Wheeler, like you said, he was due for one of these nights. Dude should have won the Cy Young Award last year. He's a really good pitcher. I think he's going on like 17 or 18 scoreless innings thrown at home now. Including, so you're facing a really good pitcher. Now, it is frustrating because it seems like when they face really good pitching, this offense kind of disappears. And that needs to change if you expect to go deep into the playoffs or, get to the postseason. But yeah, it's just chalk it up for hopefully just a one-off on the road and come back tomorrow, win the series.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree with that. I mean, there's no reason for real concern. I mean, if there's any concern, and I agree with most of the comments, and I think Jim does as well. I mean, the only concern is if Snell is a long-term issue. And I think by and large last year was an issue. He finishes with a 4.2, but that's because of his August. He would have had a 5.3 ERA last year, but he salvaged the season with August, and we'll see what he does. Again, we can't judge the full season off tonight. You look at this bullpen tonight, Stammen 1/3 of an inning, then Nick Martinez 4 innings of 2-hit baseball with 6 strikeouts as he lowers his ERA under 4. The Phillies bullpen, which has been awful, went 2 hitless innings tonight behind Zach Wheeler. I didn't like that. You look at this offense here tonight, anyone outside of the top 3, Jim, Cronenworth, Kim, and Machado, 1 hit each. Then 4 through 9, 1 hit.
Yeah, not
1
good.
for 18.
Not good.
So, again, like you said, good pitching, there's a reason it's good. I mean, most teams struggle against good pitching. I think the Padres at times have struggled against good pitching, but they had no answers for Zach Wheeler. None. 1 double in this game.
And the good part is, hopefully this is the only time you face Zach Wheeler this year. You know what I mean? Which anything can happen if they make a run in the post. If the Phillies make a run to get in the postseason, obviously Zach Wheeler is their ace along with Nola. But the good thing is, go out tomorrow, get a series win, and tonight will be, as far as the loss goes, kind of forgotten.
Yeah, this is an interesting point from our buddy who's in the chat a lot. I mean, they've only played 2 teams over 500 this year, the Dodgers and the Giants. They've played one of those series at home, 1 on the road. They're 2-4. There's not a lot to read into 6 games, I wouldn't think. He's saying, is it a red flag? I would say, well, just beat the teams on your schedule, and that's something the Padres didn't do last year, and it's something they have done this year.
Right.
So I don't consider that a red flag. Do I think they'll need to play better baseball in the second half when they play the Dodgers 9 times in September? Yeah, they will, because last year they really collapsed down the stretch with a tough schedule. But I'm not reading too much into that Giants and Dodgers series yet.
Right, because it's a very small sample size at the start of the season. Now, the Dodgers series did piss me off. It just did. But again, you're gonna see them plenty more. And I think as of right now, with the small sample size, not overly concerned about it. And I don't think a red flag should be thrown up in the air because, on paper, like, this is a good team. They're going to beat good teams. They just are. You're going to get Tatis back. You still have Machado. Hosmer's playing well. He's dipped a little bit late, but still overall he's having a really good season. Their pitching is, I put their starting pitching up against anybody in the league. So with that being said, like, it's not a big red flag for me.
No, I'm with you. I completely agree with that. And we'll see what they do tomorrow, and then they go to San Francisco. And this isn't an easy finish here to the trip, to be honest. Kyle Gibson tomorrow. San Francisco has been really good. Padres are 3-2 on the trip. We asked for them to finish 3-2, which means they now have to finish 3-1 in these 4 games, which will not be easy. So we'll see how they play.
Yeah, you win the series. You are now 4-2 on the road trip. Go to San Francisco. We all said we would take 5-4. I'm not going to. I promise John Schaefer at 9:27 on May 18th, I will not overreact if they end up losing 2 or 3 to the Giants over the weekend and finish the road trip 5-4.
Okay, so 2 or 3, 5, 4. Okay, hold on. So that means you have them winning against the Phillies tomorrow.
You win tomorrow. You take 1 of 3 against the Giants, and you finish up 5-4 of your road trip.
That's a fine trip.
I promise I will not overreact.
All right. Well, let's hold Jim to that. And, even to do that, they're going to have to beat the Phillies tomorrow and even take a game at Oracle. But I'm with you. They're playing good baseball. They've been one of the best teams in baseball on the road this year. The one thing that did kind of surprise me, I don't know if I was surprised by it. I don't know if Robinson Cano is owed anything. You will overreact.
Yeah.
The fact that Cano didn't start against a right-hander and Voit did. Cano had started the last couple of games against righties. He had 2 hits yesterday. I guess Voit just hadn't played. He was 0 for 3 in this game with 2 strikeouts. He's hitting 167. Not that Cano over the course of his year with the Mets and the Padres is better than that, but I was kind of hoping that Cano would get the lion's share of time against right-handed pitching, but that does not appear, at least, to be the case based on Luke Voit starting tonight against Zach Wheeler.
Right. You hope it's. I think it's just a situation where you got to get Luke Voit some at bats.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got to do. You got to get some. You guys can get some at bats for Luke Voit.
I mean, the DH thing is a little perplexing, and with Tatis coming back at some point sooner rather than later, hopefully June, maybe somewhere in June. If Voit hits $175, and if Cano's not starting against lefties, it'll be interesting to see what they do. It really will, because I feel like they thought when they acquired Luke Voit that would be the plug and play DH. That's not the case.
No,
he's already splitting time. He's already platooning the position. He's had a couple of moments, but it's been 6 weeks. And at DH, DH you got to hit. That's the whole point of the position. You can't hit 150 out of your DH spot all year.
Right.
So I don't think he's going anywhere. To be honest with you, he's under control for a couple of years, but
I
don't think he's the full-time DH either.
This is a rotating spot. This is a rotating DH spot. This is not, at this point in time, this is not a situation where Luke Voigt's the DH every day.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to earn it. And Cano's going to have to earn it. Whoever they put in that DH spot, he's going to have to earn it to get consistent playing time. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow you see Robinson Cano the DH. Like, it's just going to be a rotating guys.
Right. Yeah, and this is fair. I mean, if righties had hit Wheeler a little better, then I guess that's a reason to start Luke Voit. It was just listless on offense. From the first inning, Hassan Kim, I have no idea what he's doing. He's trying to go first to third on like an infield single. He's just running. He was out by a mile. They just never threatened in this entire game. And that'll happen over the course of a season. I mean, they've been shut out a couple of times. It's not the end of the world. But you like to think if you allow 3 runs, even with the way Snell pitched, you'd be in the game, but just didn't score,
Right.
In regards to some of the stuff we were talking about, and again, if you want to get to the super chats, we can get to those here tonight. Again, if you're just making your way into the channel, please subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Please hit the like button as well. We talked about this earlier today. Buster Olney in an ESPN Insider article about Juan Soto. Could the Nationals be compelled to move him this year? Mentioned 2 teams by name, Padres and the Blue Jays. And with the Padres,
here we go.
He said that the Padres obviously have high-level talent in Mackenzie Gore and C.J. Abrams. And he said the Blue Jays would just like to compliment Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And we talked about on the radio, Jim, and we both were extremely hesitant to move Mackenzie Gore for Juan Soto, despite the fact that Juan Soto is arguably the best hitter in the game. The way that the Padres ran out of starting pitching last year, I think, haunted the organization last year and into this offseason. And it could be like deja vu all over again. If you start moving starting pitching for hitting, to me at least, it's kind of like for who, for what.
The Cano thing, or not the Cano thing, the Soto thing, excuse me. It's fun fantasy baseball. It's fun. Sure. It's fun MLB The Show trade machine. I wouldn't do the trade. I wouldn't trade Gore for Soto. I think there's too many things that would happen after that would not hurt the team more than help it, but it just would be harder for them to re-sign Musgrove and re-sign more pitchers and depth. And, who knows if Cano or if God dang it, Soto would even stay here. Like you'd have Soto for 2 more years. That dude's going to make close to $30 million and more than that for those next 2 seasons. You got Machado on the books for $30 million. You got Tatis on the books for $30 million. Are you really going to have 3 guys on your roster all making $30+ million a year for the next 2 years
that are all offensive players
that are all offense pieces?
Yeah.
And not go over the luxury tax?
The funny thing is, I mean, it's kind of comical because if someone would have asked me this, 2 months ago, I'd be like, "Are you an idiot?" I mean, if I would move heaven and earth for Juan Soto, and Mackenzie Gore would be in that conversation. But that's back before I knew anything about Mackenzie Gore's mound demeanor, about his first 6 appearances in the big leagues, how good he's been. As in, the thing with Gore is you've got him under control for the next 5.5 years at a controllable contract. You want to re-sign Joe Musgrove, maybe Sean Manaea, maybe Mike Clevenger. Trading for Juan Soto is A, going to cost you Mackenzie Gore, and B, it's going to cost you another one of those starters, at least one of those starters, because they're not going to keep him. Now, is Juan Soto a 23-year-old with an electric bat like Fernando Tatis Jr.? Yeah, he is. Does Mike Trout have the best bat in the history of modern baseball? Yeah. Has he won anything? No. Is Juan Soto on a good team right now, despite the fact that he's arguably the best hitter in baseball? No, he's not.
No.
Because you have to have complementary starting pitching to go with really good offensive pieces. So I keep my 7 starters. I keep Mackenzie Gore. I don't want to trade a potential future frontline starter who's controllable for 5.5 years for a player, like you said, that's going to make $30 million a year and might not be here after 2024. And even if he is, it's going to cost you $500 million.
Right.
So
now I will say this, like, do I think Gore can make an impact this postseason if this team makes it there? I do. Who do you think can make? Who would you think makes more of an impact if this team made a postseason this year? Gore or Soto?
Put that in the chat. I mean, I think you could make an argument. You could easily make the argument for Soto. I mean, let's say Gore's a reliever in this postseason, and let's say he pitches in high leverage spots. But I mean, Juan Soto hit 5 home runs in the postseason when they won the World Series in 2019. So you could easily say it would be Soto, but you could make an argument for Gore as well.
Right. And I'll say this. In some multiversal world, they traded Gore for Soto, essentially straight up. The pressure on this team, I feel like, to win it all this year would go through the roof. And if you didn't win it, now you're looking at, well, crap. Like, we may have just lost our window. You keep Gore, your window's, I think, a little longer than that, because you have a guy that is potentially an ace of this league in the future. I think after seeing what he has done to start his career, I think he has the it factor. I was scared. I was worried. I didn't know if he had it. At one point in the offseason, I kind of was over it. I was done. Like, are we ever going to see this guy pitch? And if we're not, why are you just keeping him around? You should just trade him right now. But he has definitely come up and performed. He's going to have hiccups here and there. It's not going to be always perfect, but I think he's got the it stuff. I really do. So if you traded for Soto this year, that to me signals not only are they going all in, but this is like win or bust this season.
A little bit. I mean, the reason I agree is because, again, I don't think you keep Musgrove, Manaea if you acquire Soto, although you're going to have him in 2023 and 2024. The reason I think the window is longer is, think about this. If you've got Gore, at least for the next 6 seasons, including this, you got Gore, Tatis, Machado, Morejon. You got this core of like 6-year guys. Machado's here for the next 6 seasons, theoretically. Right. Tatis much longer than that. Gore, Morejon, who I'm high on. So I just think you have a longer window the way they're doing it right now. Now, is it about window or is it about winning? Okay. Is it about a window or winning? I mean, are you trying to win the World Series or compete for a World Series?
Right. And we've both have talked like, I want to win right now. And if this helps you win right now, then you got to take it. So I guess I'm being a little contradictive, but at the same time,
no, I'm with you.
I think they also can win it.
Yeah.
Like, I think that this rotation, as it's built right now, is a championship rotation with no added pieces.
Well, let me ask you this, and then I want to get to these super chats. I know Ben is traveling. Ben, who's a longtime listener of the radio show and right here on the wrap-up show. Ben, I want to say he's in Ohio. Were you in Cleveland, Ben, or Cincinnati? He was going to go to the game tonight, but it was rained out. So thanks for hanging out with us late night out in Ohio.
Cleveland Guardian game?
Cleveland or Cincinnati. And I forget what I was going to say. So let's get to the super chat. Oh, yeah. Here's what I was going to say. As good as the pitching's been by and large in the rotation, is the front line top of the rotation Padres, 6 or 7 man rotation right now, the front of it, Manaea, Musgrove, Gore, whomever else, Darvish.
Yeah.
Is that as good as Zach Wheeler was tonight? Now, Zach Wheeler hadn't been great.
Yes.
But who else? Like, the top of the Dodgers rotation, the top of the Giants rotation.
Yes.
The top 2 are as good as the top 2 around baseball?
Manaea, Musgrove. Yes.
Yeah, it's probably true. Manaea's been, no, you're probably right. I was going to say Manaea's been really good. I don't know if he's been like elite.
Hold on, let me look at this real quick. I'm going to look at, hold on. Baseball.
Sure,
Teams that are,
baseball.
yeah. Okay, you got, yeah, man. I mean, the Mets have Bassett, Scherzer. It's pretty good.
It's really good.
The Yankees have Cole and Cortez. I mean, the Rays have Rasmussen. Who is that? Rasmussen and McClanahan. I don't even know how to say those names.
We've been watching them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would put Manaea, Musgrove up against anybody. That's
all right. So Ben says, we can get back to that. Wheeler was dealing. Offense is going to be bested often by great pitching, but Blake Snell on his typical BS. He's the odd man out in the rotation. That's an interesting way to phrase things. I mean, I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities. There may be a point in the season where you ask yourself, what's more important, winning baseball games or the fact that we pay Blake Snell more than Mackenzie Gore, or we pay Blake Snell more than Nick Martinez? It's hard to envision Blake Snell not being in the Padres rotation if he is healthy. So I just think this needs time, Ben, would be my guess. Now, hopefully not a lot of time. We all feel that way, but I don't think anything is in jeopardy with his job for a long period of time.
Right. He's not going anywhere. And even if he does stink up the joint, I don't think tonight was a stinker. It was just a typical Blake Snell start. I don't think he stunk up the joint by any means. But with that being said, there's no way I'm getting rid of him or I'm taking him out of this rotation depends on what happens, but I'm not trading Snell.
Well, I don't think because you don't get a lot for. I mean, 2 reasons. A, you could use them. The 7-man rotation we've talked about, you could use. B, what are you getting for Blake Snell? Like, what are the offers for Blake Snell around baseball right now?
I don't know, and I really wouldn't even look at it. I just, what if a situation comes in the postseason where, Blake Snell has an average year, but he goes out and pitches like he did in the World Series in 2020. Right. And you're like,
trust him, but how would that even happen? Let's say he pitches to a 4.2 ERA, and you just said Musgrove, Manaea, Darvish, Gore, all good. Is he even going to be
and
starting?
Clevenger?
Yeah, is he even going to be pitching in the postseason?
That's a good point. Like you're now looking at like, dude, are you going to make this roster?
Yeah, like is he even? That's a great point. Is he even on the 26-man roster for a 3-game series if he's the 7th best starter on this team, or 6th, or 5th?
Probably not.
Maybe,
But that's
Ben, thank you again.
Thank you, Ben. But that's incentive for him to start, to pitch better and make the decisions harder.
Because if you pitch in the second half of the year, Jim.
Right. Exactly. If you go down the stretch in September and August and you are pitching like you did last year in August, like, of course you're going to be pitching in the postseason if this team is good.
Thank you guys for these super chats. Alex,
yes,
we really appreciate it. Thank you guys. If you want to weigh in, make sure we get your comment. You can use that super chat. It's greatly appreciated on the channel. Alex says, we aren't going to trade for a big-time bat. We will get a solid one, maybe like a Mancini, someone who isn't that big of a prospect. I mean, Mancini, right, established veteran hitter at this point in his career. I mean, I kind of agree with Alex. I don't think they make this crazy bat splash. Like, we always hear these 2 names, Brian Reynolds, Cedric Mullins. I mean, I don't envision it. I think it would take a really wild move by A.J. Preller that would cost him probably some of his starting pitching. I think he'd rather ride his starting pitching than anything else. And getting 1 bat doesn't necessarily change everything. And they'll get Fernando Tatis Jr. That's their trade deadline acquisition this year.
That's their big bat. And everyone's wanting, where's the big bat? Where's the big bat? This team needs that's Fernando Tatis Jr. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he's good. But if he's healthy and he's Tatis of last year, or at least the MVP Tatis, it's a pretty good addition, you know?
Yeah, a really good addition. I mean, I'm with Alex. I mean, if we're sitting here July 30th, man, Preller's going to strike. I can feel it. There's 17 games over 500. He's going to land Reynolds. I mean, I don't know. He didn't in 2020. He landed Austin Nola. In 2021, he landed Adam Frazier. In 2022, he's going to go land Cedric Mullins.
Yeah,
For what?
I will say this though. The getting Tatis is the addition that this team needs is all dependent on Hosmer and Machado both performing not to the level they're at right now, but all-star level. Because if it's just Machado and you add Tatis, then it's like, well, they actually kind of need one more bat. But if you have Machado, Hosmer, and maybe one other piece in this lineup that's doing pretty good, and then you add Tatis, then I feel much more comfortable. But if you're adding Tatis to a lineup of if Hosmer falls off a cliff and you just have Manny in it, like then I would probably say you need more.
I agree with that completely. And again, I agree with what you've said for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'm not expecting Tatis to change everything offensively. Truth is, they're 9th in baseball in runs scored per game. Coming in, that'll drop. They'll be 10th or 11th. And they're the best team in baseball in runs scored per game on the road. That might drop. Maybe they're the second or third best team. But the offense has been fine. Hasn't been perfect. Hasn't been awful. When you add Tatis to an average lineup, you should get a good lineup out of that, in my opinion. Let's get to this super chat from JD's third. JD, thank you so much again for your super chat and your support. Thanks for hanging out with us here tonight on the wrap-up show. Again, if you're here live, make sure to subscribe. If you're here on replay, make sure to subscribe. We have year-round Padres content for you. Also, if you're here on replay, you can use that thanks button as well. So he writes this. Abrams, Gore, Hassel, and Wood all gone for Soto. AJ Tingler Preller makes deal. Would you do it for 2 years? Boris not allowing him to extend. So would you move all of your... No, I'm not doing this. I'm not even getting close to doing this. In fact, I didn't even realize Gore was in it. No.
If you now, the only way I would do that. This is the only way I would do it.
No.
Just wait till I tell you what I would do.
Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to hear it.
You ready? You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
If it meant a guaranteed World Series championship, you do it.
If it meant a guaranteed, well, yeah. I mean, Jim.
But that's my point.
I would dye my hair white.
It already is almost white.
It is, but you know what I mean. We would do a lot of things if you could guarantee it.
You know what I'm talking about too. That's the only way I would do it is if you guaranteed me that this team would win a World Series with that trade this year. Then I'm doing it in a second. But there's no guarantees, so that's why I wouldn't do it.
No, and now you're talking about really getting burnt. It's like, what if Gore is a 10-year all-star caliber starter? What if Abrams is a 5-year all-star himself? Right. What if Hassel can? I mean, you could get killed in a deal like that. You could get absolutely killed for 2 years of a player that doesn't automatically guarantee you a World Series. They won in 2019 because of their starting pitching.
Yeah,
that's why that was a big reason why the Nats won the World Series.
I mean, if I'm the Nationals, I do that in a second.
Dude, are you kidding? You've just given yourself this huge buildup, unbelievable rebuild with guys under control for over a half decade.
Yeah, you have a potential star pitcher, shortstop. You have a left fielder.
You save money. You opened up $20 million for next year to go spend too. In addition to that, yeah. I mean,
if I'm the Nationals GM, Rizzo, I would like get on my hands and knees and pray every night that Preller would call and make that trade.
Well, now here's the other question though. I would say, what if it was Abrams, Hassel, Wood, no Gore? Well, then I'm
doing it.
Probably making the trade.
Then I'm doing it because there's no guarantees that Abrams is going to be a star. There's also kind of no guarantees on where he's going to play in the field. Like, you don't know where he's really going to play right now. Shortstop's locked up. Second base is locked up. Maybe center field, but he's not. I mean, so there's no guarantees on where he's even going to play. If there is a definite hole on this roster in this franchise at shortstop, then I'm like, no, keep Abrams. You need to have him develop. He's the shortstop of the future. But you got that under control for the next 13 seasons.
All right, I just blocked whoever that annoying user was. Cameron Gillies, who's like talking about the Yankees. Nobody cares about the Yankees. We're here to talk Padres baseball. So STFU.
I didn't even see what's going on.
Yeah,
Was he being
like, stop.
disrespectful?
By the way, we need a moderator too. No joke. Like, because we have so many loyal viewers.
We don't
If
need
you'd
a
like,
moderator, John.
I mean, see, I don't need this trash in here. I want people to
What happened?
enjoy their conversation about the Padres, not be pestered by fans of the Yankees. I don't know. Whatever. Jake, thank you again for this super chat as well. Thank you guys for the super chats tonight. Greatly appreciated. You can use that super chat function by hitting the $ down below. Jake saying that's exactly what my rant about Snell was about. He expects his team to carry him to the postseason, and he'll throw a couple of tune-ups in September. Disrespectful to his teammates and San Diego fans. I'm with Jake on what he said this spring. I know my body best. It's more about the second half than the first half. He said this last year too in his first season with the Padres. Don't expect me to go more than 4 or 5 innings the first month of the season. Like, what kind of expectations are these out of a former Cy Young Award winner in the midst of a 5-year, $100 million deal or something comparable to that?
Yeah,
It's less than that. He makes less than that, but
it makes less than that.
Yeah, but he's making a lot at the back end of this deal. He's getting 15s and 16s and 17s,
Yeah, man, it's all about you walk the walk. You gotta talk.
Yeah.
I mean, talk the talk. Gotta walk the walk. Like, I'd much rather have Snell just not talk and go out there and just show it on the mound. But he's got to say that he's going to be dominant. He's got to say that has nasty stuff, and he's got to make some excuses. It's like, just go out there and pitch, bro. Attack. Let your stuff do the talking, not your mouth. Like,
I used to really enjoy it when I heard him talk after games. The first 3 or 4 starts he made as a Padre last year. Remember his debut at Petco was really good. He was throwing hard. He didn't go a lot of innings, but it was good.
I think it was like 4 innings, no runs.
Right. It was like, oh, wow. And he struck out like 9 guys. It was like, wow, look at his stuff. And I loved it. And he was talking about, hey, I didn't have a good feel for my fastball, but man, the grip on the changeup was good. I feel it. But he kept saying the same things and it wasn't changing. And I think it got frustrating for a lot of Padres fans. I do enjoy listening to him talk, to be honest, but less talking, more performing is what I'm going to ask for in 2022. Simple as that.
I'm with you, man. I'd rather have him go out there and just, if he never talked, Blake Snell's great interview, but he'd be a better interview if he performed.
I'm so glad someone is playing this side with a super chat. Thank you, Ryan. Great super chat. Thank you for weighing in. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. You guys are nuts. A lot of people feel that same way, including my wife. Gore for Soto isn't actually fair to the Nats. Now, by the way, I think Jim and I both agree. I don't think the Nats would do Gore for Soto straight either. It's probably Gore and something. I mean, even Buster Olney was saying that. I understand that from the Nats perspective. He could hurt his arm tomorrow. I'd do that deal yesterday. But Ryan, isn't that every pitcher in baseball from the very best in the history of the game? In the modern, I mean, Clayton Kershaw can get hurt. Max Scherzer can get hurt. Zach Wheeler can get hurt. Rodon can get hurt.
Everybody can get hurt.
All of them. I mean, and by the way, a lot of them have. And a lot of them have bounced back and been effective on the other side of Tommy John's. So I don't think the injury risk would be the reason I wouldn't make a trade on either side. Like, if the Nats think Gore is the next Strasburg, you make the move. If you think you're not signing Soto to a long-term deal, right? Now, I'm not saying he is the next Strasburg, but I'm saying if they think he is.
Do you think that 29 other teams wouldn't trade for Tatis because injury?
No, I think they would take their chances. I mean, maybe. And Tatis is a little different because Tatis actually has missed time due to injury. Mackenzie Gore, and again, it's a short period of time, but I mean, has he been hurt? His ineffectiveness in the minor leagues wasn't because of injury. He had a blister.
And his mechanics were all messed up.
Exactly. I mean, Ryan's point's valid. I'm sure there's a lot of Nats fans that would say something similar. You can't do that trade. But if Gore is the frontline guy that Padres fans hope he is, or that the Nats think he could be, I'd have to consider it. Because if I'm getting a frontline guy for 6 years and losing Soto for 2 years, but I'm not in a window to win, right? It's like, what benefits the Nationals more? Soto hitting 48 home runs this year for a 70-win team, or Gore being with them in 2027 when they're back on the come?
Yeah, I'm sure the Nats would obviously want more than that.
Sure, of course. It's Juan Soto.
It's Juan Soto.
Yeah.
But it's going to be harder for them to get that much for him the sooner he gets to free agency. Like, if you're the Nats, you kind of have to look at it like, yo, if we're going to pull the trigger here
Do
and
it
we're going to get
sooner.
rid of Soto, we have to do it this year. Because if you do it next or in the offseason,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they wait and they keep him, what team is going to give up 4 top prospects for a year and a half of Soto when they know they can't re-sign him because he's going to cost $500 million?
Right. Yes, exactly. Travis brings up the good point. Thank you again, Ryan, for the super. Scherzer was hurt. I think he's having an MRI.
Was it a back
Paddock
thing?
is at what's that?
I think was it a back?
Left side discomfort. He will have an MRI. Paddock is out for the year. Tommy John.
Great trade by Preller.
Yep, it really is. And again, this stuff can happen. I mean, of course, Mackenzie Gore could get hurt. Of course, like you said,
Right.
all these guys could. By the way,
We all knew
Soto could
like
get hurt.
it's like, and is this the same kind of injury that Lamet had? UCL.
UCL. Yeah. Well, remember, Lamet had the surgery, then didn't.
What I mean is like
Tommy John's UCL.
Yeah. So didn't Lamet? No, this is the last 2 years ago, 2020.
2020, the injury that Dinelson Lamet had was never fully publicized, but I think was UCL, elbow, not shoulder.
Yeah. And you saw the last however many pitchers that have UCL issues all get Tommy John, except for Dinelson
Basically.
Lamet.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Bummer for Paddock, though, but still, I mean, great trade for the Padres.
Yeah, great trade. Great trade for the Padres. A lot of good comments, by the way, coming in here tonight. Again, there's a lot of, there's the Trent Grisham conversation we could have. We had the conversation today, Jim, on the radio during the Fusion with Darren about, is Fernando Tatis Jr. the shortstop of the future for the Padres? I mean, that's kind of, I think you and I both agree that's a little.
He's the shortstop of the future.
Right. And because the reason I think Darren brought it up is, hey, CJ Abrams is playing short in AAA, but CJ Abrams has played 80 professional games. Right. Why wouldn't he be playing short? He just needs seasoning. He could spend the next season and a half in the minor leagues and still pay huge dividends in 2024. So I don't think you worry about CJ Abrams' position right now. Does Tatis still have something to prove at short? Yeah, stay healthy. That's all he really has to prove. If he stays healthy, his bat is the reason he's their everyday shortstop. I don't care if his defense isn't as good as offense. Who cares? It's an offensive game. If he's going to slug 1,000, you don't have to have the best defensive shortstop in the game, right?
No, he doesn't have to be the best defensive shortstop. If he's going to have an MVP season, like Tatis finished 3rd last year, and he wasn't great by the numbers at shortstop, I'm still playing it short.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he played time in the outfield, but he's my shortstop.
Yeah, there's just no scenario. I thought he was serviceable in the outfield. I'm sure he'd be a potent bat at DH as he needs a blow or to get off his feet, but you're paying him $30 million a year on average, by and large, for the next decade plus. He's got to be much more than a DH, and he would tell you that. He doesn't want a DH at 23. Who the hell DHs at 23?
Like, can we just please, when he gets back, have no more injury problems?
Man.
Just saying.
Can he just come back and be healthy all year? Just give me this year. I'll worry about 2023 later. Give me 80 straight games. You're healthy. Lead this team to the postseason.
Like I saw something the other day on Major League Baseball Network that was like faces of baseball. And at the bottom of the screen, it said, Fernando Tatis Jr. ineligible because of injury. And I'm like, ugh.
Still at the age of 23, more minor league plate appearances than major league plate appearances for Fernando Tatis Jr. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I don't like it. That's the craziest stat of
all. We'll get back to the chat in a moment.
Drink.
Exactly. We'll drink from our friends here at Aura with this beautiful smoothie at the top of their website. Click this Take the Quiz button, and you'll get a discount on your very first order. This is ORA.organic. Their co-founder, Will, is a San Diegan. Huge Padres fan. They've got an office right here in San Diego. This is all plant-based nutrition, a way to improve your health right now in 2022, whether it's probiotics, which I take every single day, digestion, heart health, mental clarity, so many other reasons to take a probiotic. They've got proteins. They have omega-3 oils. They have sleep supplements. Just really amazing products. You can learn all about them here. ORA.organic. There's a link down below. Plant-based nutrition. Jim takes their proteins. They have pre-workout supplements. I take the daily probiotic. There's so much more. Click the Take the Quiz button right here on the site. You'll get a discount on your very first order. Please support this channel by supporting our longtime sponsor, Aura, ORA.organic.
Yeah, go there right now, www.aura.organic. We're hooking you up. Take the quiz. You get 30% off your first order. They have everything there to live a healthy lifestyle. Go check it out, www.aura.organic. Buy some stuff. You'll thank us later.
Agreed. Do you have a way, Jim, from where you are to put up just a poll like Gore for Soto and just see yes and no's? Like what's the chat say tonight? Like, would people do it? Would people not do it? How do you do that? I don't know how to do the poll from within StreamYard. Do you?
You have to go on a YouTube, John.
Oh, you have to go to YouTube.
Yeah, I remember my first time doing YouTube stuff.
Do I have access to that? Because there's some things I don't have
Probably
access
not.
to.
Hold on.
Jim, for whatever reason, has he holds like the keys to the YouTube channel. Make sure, and knowing Jim, he's probably gonna like delete the YouTube channel. Be like, oh, my bad, I was watching the Warriors and I deleted the YouTube channel.
Wait, what's the question? Would you trade Gore for Soto straight up?
Would you include Mackenzie Gore in a package for Juan Soto?
All right.
Yes or no? While you do that, thank you, Michael, our loyal viewer in Mexico, with another super chat. Michael, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It means a lot. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Have you guys seen what the Twins are doing with Buxton? Basically sitting him every third game. Hope it doesn't come to that with Tatis. My fear is that when he comes back, they'll be really timid with him.
I know.
Play a game at short, DH. Play a game at short, DH twice. Off day. Play a game at short, get a second game, DH. That's my fear, that they're fearing for his health, even in the short term here in 2022. And they realize that you have to be a little bit on eggshells with someone like Fernando Tatis Jr. I've always said, and Jim, you've said the same thing, free Tatis. Let him exhibit all of his talents. And if something happens, something happens. These guys get hit by fastballs. Guys slide awkwardly into bases. There are plays at the plate. Things happen. It's a sport. We all know that. Let him play the game the way he's always played the game. He's 23 years of age. Once he's active, treat him like he's one of the other 25 players on the active roster. Don't treat him like he's got kid gloves. Let him play the way he's capable of playing. Because when he's healthy, there's no one more dynamic in the game offensively than Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, like we started the let Tatis be Tatis movement, or at least we were on the bandwagon for it last year.
I think so, yeah.
Like, let Tatis be Tatis. Why are you telling him to not do stuff? Because when you start doing that, he doesn't become the guy you signed. And eventually, later in his career, he won't be able to do that stuff because he's going to be older. And as of right now, you kind of just need to let him be. Like, yes, there's going to be restrictions on him off the field. But on the field, it's like, you know, you're just going to have to live with it. It's at times it's going to be very cringeworthy, like his sliding and diving and all that stuff. Like it's at this moment in time, it is cringeworthy because he is injury prone. But that's who he is, man. That's who you signed. That you signed Tatis. That's Fernando Tatis Jr. If Tatis isn't sliding and diving and running around,
then what is he?
Then he's still a great player, but he's not Fernando Tatis Jr.
You know, last year he's like a 30-30, 40-40 pace through 50 games of the year, whatever it was. And he doesn't even run in the second half of the year. And I understand it. It's not like if he had another 11 stolen bases, the Padres would have won 90 games.
Remember,
the guy he could fly. Like, don't take the handcuffs off.
Remember late in the season that anytime he slid, it was always feet first. He never after like. Yeah,
there was put mittens on him. Oh, well, it's not about his hands. It's about his wrists. Just let him play baseball. Oh, he's got to have two hands on the bat at all time. And he does. Like, let him play.
Let him play.
You know, because he got hurt in the offseason. He got hurt on a motorcycle. I mean, things happen in life. And by the way, it can happen to any of us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This is a great super chat. Thank you, Irie Fan Geek. Trent Grisham belongs on a rebuilding team, which we are not.
Who else you got?
That's the problem.
Who else you got? You getting rid of Trent Grisham? All right, who's up next?
Matt Beatty, here you come.
Alcantara? Like,
he's not even an outfielder.
You don't have anybody better behind him. And if you plan on putting CJ Abrams in center field,
Nomar Mazara
yet. Nomar Mazara. I'll stick with Trent right now. He's not He's not doing well, I can tell you that, but he's also like not bringing this team down to a level where they're losing games because of him.
This is a very interesting super. And thank you again, Irie. Thank you. What is this? It's your boy. I like that. Thanks for the super.
Very nice
Thanks for hanging
picture.
out with us. Padres front office probably wants some stipulations on Tatis contact right now. LOL. And him playing 160 to 165 games wouldn't be bad at all. Load management ain't a bad thing. Okay, you're saying if you get the 80% Tatis, but he plays every day, is that better than the 100% Tatis, but he misses significant time? I mean, that's a fair conversation to have. But I don't know if the 80% Tatis guarantees he stays healthy, Jim.
It's like the Machado thing. Like people rip on Machado for not running hard down the first baseline when it's like a clear out to the shortstop. Machado's insanely aware of his body. He is a genius when it comes to managing his body for a 162 game season. So all right, don't go all out for a couple plays and it helps you preserve your body for a full season. Yeah, and I think Machado's even talked about that. He's like, "Yeah, I gotta tell him when him,
Yeah, with
tell him,
Tatis.
like when to go full and when to rein it back a little bit." And you're gonna hear people, and you're gonna hear, the stupid argument like, "Oh, Machado's not hustling." It's like, shut up, dude. Like, really, you want Machado to leg out a grounder, go full 100 speed in the third inning on Wednesday night versus the Rockies in May? Like, shut up. You're just doing it because you're a troll.
Yeah, no. I agree with that. I agree with that. Hold on, I'm sending a text. I'm working on something for tomorrow for our show.
We have a show tomorrow?
We do, from 3 to 6.
What?
Okay. My bad. We're doing a million things at once. We're doing a million things at once.
We're always doing a million.
What's the poll say, Jim? I can't see it.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Hold on, dude. Hold on. The poll that I put up, if it would load right now, would you include Gore in a package deal for Soto? 55% say yes.
Okay. So we're in the minority a little bit, maybe.
A little bit.
You and I. Okay. By the way, Mazar's hitting. Again, take El Paso with a grain of salt. Okay. And he's not a drink. Streak continues.
Always continues.
The kid's ready for the bit. He ain't no kid anymore.
No.
He ain't no kid. Am I opposed to his bat getting some play? No, I'm fine with it. They have a lot of these guys though, like the Voits and the Canoes. Like, hey, they should hit. Hey, they got a lot of. I mean, they're all different, obviously. I don't know if Nomar Mazara. It's like Trace Thompson. It's who knows. I mean, could he give you a couple of good at bats? Maybe.
Thank you, Mike or Sam. I called you Mike.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, hold on. We're not going anywhere until. So is this weird? So remember, it was Marty Caswell that coined. Marty Caswell coined the Reach Around show, which is the wrap-up show, but that's what we call it on the radio for a couple of years. Okay.
Yeah. All royalties go to Marty Caswell.
So then Marty was like, we were like, we should get Marty a shirt. Darren's like, yo, get Marty a shirt. Like, she coined Reach Around show. We're like, yeah, no problem. We're on it. We're on it. So I order her this shirt from the site. I'll put the link for the merch shop in the chat. It's a little creepy. He said get her an extra small like tank or tee, right? I'm pretty sure he said get her an extra small tank top.
Yep.
And she like texted like, give me an extra small. So anyway, it arrives. It's kind of like lace. It's kind of like, I mean, it's kind of dope. But like, look at this. Like, it's kind of like lacy. It's like kind of a lingerie.
John, it's a woman's shirt.
Okay, you're right. See, that's the thing. I don't wear a lot of women's clothing anymore, Jim, ever since the change.
Pause.
But like, is that cool to give Marty, or should I feel weird about that?
No, dude, that's perfect for Marty. She'll trust me. I've seen Marty receive shirts and gifts before, and shirts that are smaller than that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's size small. That's not extra small. There's no extra small on the.
She'll probably think that's too big for her.
Okay, and then Darren, because he's on the show too. It's actually a show.
Oh, you got him a reach around water bottle.
So we've moved some Reach Around Show merch on the website. We've moved more wrap-up show merch and John and Jim stuff. But hey, if you know, you know. Like if you've been around for the last 3 years on the radio or on YouTube, we got
Sam
some.
makes a great point here. You overthink everything.
I do.
Everything.
Well, I don't
bro.
want Marty to think like I got her like lingerie.
Dude, it's not. Oh my god. Here's a
Should
bra,
we sell
Marty.
like Reach Around Show bras?
Don't. That would be weird. That's when I would hope you would second guess yourself. Why are we even talking about this? It's a shirt, dude.
Can you explain this?
Okay, so when we started the wrap-up show in 2020,
She was like saying it right, like
she
wrap up.
ended up calling it the Reach Around Show.
But she didn't know what it was called.
Yeah, so she's like, "Wait, is this the Reach Around Show?" And you could obviously guess what Reach Around is, but Marty called it the Reach Around Show, and it just kind of stuck as like a nickname of the show.
Yeah, it was like that was probably like the name of the show for the first 2 years.
Right, the Reach Around. It's like, what are you guys doing on the Reach Around today? They're like, oh, you know.
For those that are curious, the shameless plug. Here's the merch site. Saw some people pick up some hats last night. By the way, there were some wrap-up show hats that were picked up last night. I got. Where is it, Jim? Hold on. You might like this, Jim. Stand by. Actually, let me lift. Hold on. Stand by, everyone. Because look at the back of my laptop. Oh, look at that.
You got a sticker?
I got a sticker, bro. I don't think I got you one. I think I got you a Reach Around Show sticker.
I need both. John and Jim and Reach Around.
Okay, so we got the John and Jim sticker, but hold on.
You got a Reach Around sticker on your laptop. People are like, wait, what are you
wearing? Is that weird? Yeah,
a little weird.
Probably. Oh, Rich McGuire picked up a hat. Thank you, Rich. Hold on. I'm showing off some merch that arrived at my house today. Wrap-up show sticker.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Because Jones ripped yours.
These were Jones ripped mine. Thanks, Jones.
Yeah.
I remember my first time being 3 years old.
Yeah.
And then Reach Around Show.
Very nice. Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
So anyway, we got merch. John and Jim, Reach Around Show, wrap-up show. But yeah, that's the story. Basically, Marty was like, "What's the name of the show? Reach Around Show?
Reach Around Show? Huh?
It's not the Reach Around Show, Marty."
No.
But it kind of, yeah, maybe it is the Reach Around Show. So thanks, Marty.
Maybe. Okay.
All right. So is that going to do it, Jim?
I think so. We'll be back tomorrow.
Tomorrow night? What's tomorrow? Thursday? Yeah, we could do another one.
Game in the morning, so watch the game before the show tomorrow. Radio shows at 3 o'clock. Extra 1360. iHeartRadio app.
With us?
Download it.
You know who's with us tomorrow? Jim Russell.
Yeah, Chelsea Jane.
Chelsea Janes. I think it's Janes.
Janes or Janes?
Yeah, Chelsea. Hold on. Actually, let me confirm that. So Chelsea, I think it's Janes, dude.
It's Janes.
Okay, Chelsea Janes, Washington Post baseball writer.
Great writer.
Great writer. Well, we're going to just pester her with Juan Soto questions.
Pretty much.
Because of Buster Olney.
Yep.
So, she covers baseball in D.C. She covers the Nats and I think Major League Baseball in general. But Chelsea Janes will join the show tomorrow. I don't know exactly what time we will air that or what time she's going to join us. But join us tomorrow, 3 to 6 on the radio, iHeartRadio app, extra 1360 if you are in San Diego. No, Rich, not a lot of Jordan Poole talk today.
Up 1-0. I'll take it.
Maybe tomorrow from 3 to 6. We don't sell any Juan Soto wrap-up show gear yet.
We should sell some Juan. If they traded for Juan Soto, then we would sell wrap-up show Juan Soto gear to start a GoFundMe account to pay for his next contract.
Exactly. And we get sued for name, image, and likeness for using Juan Soto on our merch, probably.
Yep.
Carter wants the bucket hat. I think we have them, Carter.
Yeah, go check it out.
Check out I don't know about the sizes. I don't know about bucket hat sizes, but I do think we have them. Yeah. Okay, as a reminder, if you're here with us live or on replay, please subscribe. We're here for Padres fans. We greatly appreciate your support. Hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when we go live. Smash the like button for us as well. Follow us on Twitter at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD, at John and Jim. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok. I don't know. I'm told to say that. Also, please support our partners. Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. He's been with us literally since day one. He can save you $750 on your insurance, whatever it is, auto, home, renters, life. Just call him. There's a link down below. Get in contact with him. Great guy, huge Padres fan. You'll love talking to him. If you have any insurance needs, trust us. Please contact Mark Nimitz. That's funny. And Ora, ORA.organic, great longtime partner of the Wrap-Up Show here on YouTube. If you have a desire to get healthier in 2022, I think we all do. plant-based nutritional products, probiotics, proteins, omega-3 oils, much, much more, sleep supplements, energy supplements, whatever it is. Please click that link down below, ora.organic. Check out the merch. I sound like a YouTuber, man. Anything else to push on the way out?
Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
I like it. I like it. Spoken like a true YouTuber. I love that comment. Someone said when I was like dying, I couldn't talk. Like, buy the merch.
Spoken like a true YouTuber. Dying, but hey, still have to promote the merch.
How about this? I'll leave you with this. Listen back to hour 3 of our show today. It's
hour
been discussed.
3. Go back. Go back and listen to it.
I really do have a desire to get healthier.
If they trade for Juan Soto at 2 a.m.
No, anytime.
That's what I meant. Like anytime in the 3 a.m. Even if I was at like Laura's house, or if you were sleeping and Jones
was at Laura's house,
or if I'm out, like if you're out wherever we're at, bro, we would do a wrap-up show.
Listen, if you're hanging out with Laura and we're on Soto watch, keep the ringer on. Okay, I don't care what's going on. Just make sure you got the ringer on so you can look over to the phone.
Right.
In the event something happens. I don't think we're on Soto watch because of Buster Olney's ESPN Plus article.
We're not on any Soto watch.
Now, I love this for merch. John, Jim, and Juan.
I like
our
it.
boy, Soto.
Yeah, I like it.
And as Rich likes to say, no, stop pushing TikTok. I'm with you, Rich. We're going to keep pushing it. It's so annoying.
We have to.
All right. Okay. For Jim, I'm John. This is the wrap-up show presented by Mark Nimitz and Farmers Insurance. We'll catch up tomorrow night. Thanks, guys. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. I'm in.
Don't go anywhere.